Thanks for joining us. We hope you're having a good holiday weekend. I'm Dan Spieler. A lot to cover this week, from the response to those deadly and devastating storms across Indiana to the unprecedented arraignment of former President Donald Trump. But we begin with a controversial bill signed into law that would ban certain gender-affirming care procedures for transgender minors in our state. The ACLU of Indiana immediately filing a lawsuit on behalf of some parents and children. State House reporter Kristen Eskow has details today.
The ACLU filed the lawsuit on behalf of 4 transgender Hoosiers who would be impacted by this ban. Now, some parents have previously said their families would have to leave Indiana if this law takes effect. The lawmaker is standing by the legislation that he introduced.
She worries about getting all health care, not just gender-affirming health care.
Beth and Nathaniel Clausen say their 10-year-old transgender daughter is concerned about the future if Indiana's new limits on gender transitioning care take effect. She would lose access to treatments like puberty blockers and hormone therapy.
It's taken a drastic toll on all of our mental health.
The Clausens are among 4 families suing the state to stop the new ban, which starts July 1st. A doctor and health care clinic are also on the lawsuit. Ken Falk of the ACLU says the ban is unconstitutional.
Remember, the legislature did not ban the various treatments that are outlined. It only banned it for transgender persons.
Advocates argue children are too young to make decisions about gender transitioning care and should be limited to counseling services, which would still be allowed.
This was really, to me, very common sense policy to help protect kids.
Republican State Senator Tyler Johnson, who's also an emergency room physician, defended the new law. How do you respond to the assertions from some folks that this makes Indiana a less welcoming place for transgender people?
I don't think that's true at all. I think we've been very compassionate in the discussions and conversations and been very open about those discussions. And anybody that knows me knows I try to be very thoughtful through things and very compassionate about things and want to make sure that everybody's welcome. We're just looking to protect kids.
IU Health currently provides puberty blockers and hormone therapy to transgender patients under age 18. In a statement earlier, IU Health says it will continue to offer mental health services to those patients after this ban takes effect. From the Indiana State House, I'm Kristen Eskow.
Kristen, thank you. Some other bills the governor signed that we've been following, including legislation allowing a state takeover of properties where a landlord is behind on utility payments, a proposal restricting local communities from adopting unique election policies, and a change to how the Indiana National Guard handles court-martial requests. Also this week, the governor says he is coordinating assistance for the people impacted by the recent tornado outbreak in our state, including the small town of Sullivan, where sadly 3 people died in this storm. So far, the governor has issued disaster declarations for 7 counties: Benton, Johnson, Monroe, Morgan, Owen, and Sullivan counties. He says the state is setting up help centers and says he'll request funding from the federal government.
I have communicated that we will make sure that we are submitting every request that we have. It's amazing to see yet again when tragedy strikes. Down in Sullivan this past weekend, I ran into a number of people and said, "Are you going to stay? I hope you stay. I hope you rebuild. We're going to help you." We've been through some floods and tornadoes before, so we know how to do this. We'll do that. If we need help, we won't be too ashamed to ask for it or too proud.
The state asking for that assistance. Meantime, this week, the other big story out of New York, former President Trump appearing in court to face 34 felony charges tied to hush money that his 2016 campaign paid to several parties before that election. Manhattan's DA claims the case is about holding people accountable. The former president says he believes the charges are politically motivated.
We today uphold our solemn responsibility to ensure that everyone stands equal before the law. No amount of money and no amount of power changes that enduring American principle.
Our justice system has become lawless. They're using it now, in addition to everything else, to win elections.
Of course, this all comes as former President Trump runs for the White House again in 2024. Washington correspondent Jesse Tourneur explains how this week's events could impact the Republican field.
Everything's brand new with Donald Trump. We've never seen anything like this before.
34 felony criminal charges are not slowing down former President Donald Trump's third bid for the White House. He's now using Tuesday's arraignment to raise campaign cash. And political experts like George Washington University's Todd Belt say nothing prohibits him from doing so.
We've actually even had somebody run for president from jail. That was Eugene V. Debs back in 1920.
Belt says Trump's legal troubles are not hurting his campaign either.
Now more than ever, Donald Trump is best positioned to be the nominee.
But other Republicans who want to offer voters an alternative option are starting to jump in.
Are smelling blood in the water.
Former Arkansas Governor Asa Hutchinson announced his plans Sunday on ABC This Week.
This is one of the most unpredictable political environments that I've seen in my lifetime.
Nikki Haley launched her campaign in February and visited the southern border Monday.
This will be one of our top priorities.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis is also expected to take on Trump. And South Carolina Senator Tim Scott will visit 3 key battleground states next week. But Belt says these candidates face a big challenge.
If more of them get into the race, then more of them are going to be dividing up that non-Trump vote.
President Joe Biden is not commenting on the case against Trump and has not officially announced a re-election bid. But Belt says that's strategic.
There's a number one rule in politics. When the opponent is doing themselves in, just let them do it.
In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
And of course, there's also Mike Pence this week. A spokesperson for the former VP says he will not fight a judge's ruling that compels him to testify in a Justice Department probe. A special prosecutor investigating the efforts by former President Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 election results, which of course led up to the January 6th attack on the Capitol. The judge ordered the former Indiana governor to testify on the events between election night and January 6th, but he will not have to testify about the riot.